Okay, so like, let's dive into a movie that's basically like the ultimate 90s time capsule.
It's Clueless.
Clueless. I mean, come on.
Right.
Who didn't want to raid Cher's closet after this?
Right. It's
Serious.
amazing how Clueless just captured like that 90s teen vibe so perfectly.
Oh, cool.
The slang, the
Right,
fashion,
fashion.
and it still feels, relevant today, which is wild. It's like a total cultural touchstone.
Totally. And it's so much more than just like a fluffy teen movie.
All
Like,
right.
it's satire. It's coming of age. It's just hilarious, especially the high school dynamics.
Yeah, it's smart.
And today, we're going way beyond those plaid skirts, those platform shoes, all of it, to unpack why it's such a classic.
Exactly, like diving deep into the characters, the themes,
Yeah.
the impact
All of it.
it's had on pop culture.
Yes. Okay, so let's start with our main girl,
Sure.
Cher Horowitz, Queen Bee of Beverly Hills High, and played, like, to perfection by Alicia Silverstone.
Ouch.
On the surface, she seems totally obsessed with, like, clothes and popularity. But is there more to her?
Oh, absolutely. I think what's so brilliant about Cher is that she's not actually malicious.
No.
She's really good-natured, even if she's a little,
Clueless.
clueless
Pun intended.
about the real world, for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. And that's what makes her transformation in the movie so interesting, right?
Totally.
She goes from this seemingly superficial teen to, like, genuinely wanting to help others.
Exactly. Like, even think about her matchmaking. Like, first with the teachers, Mr. Hall and Miss Geist,
Oh, yeah.
and then with Ty and Elton.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's all about connecting people. And in Cher's mind, making their lives better, which is,
Okay, true. But she does kind of manipulate things to get what she wants.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how she totally schemed to boost her debate grade?
Totally. And I think that's where it really, like, subverts that dumb blonde stereotype.
Yes.
Like, Cher may not be a straight-A student, but she's resourceful, she's clever,
Oh, yeah.
she's got her own unique intelligence.
So, like, street smart, not book smart.
Exactly. And those, like, manipulations, even though they're sometimes, questionable,
Yeah.
they often come from this place of wanting to help others, even if it's, roundabout.
Roundabout, for sure. Okay, I see that. But what about Josh?
Yeah. Josh, he's like,
He doesn't buy her act, like, at all in the beginning.
no, not at all.
He's the voice of reason.
Totally.
The down-to-earth college guy in this very privileged world.
And I think their dynamic is so interesting. Like, he sees right through her facade
Well, yeah.
and he calls her out on it. But he also, as the movie goes on, starts to see her good heart,
Yeah, and their banter is hilarious, but you can tell there's something simmering there.
Totally. Like
Yeah.
a total slow burn.
Yes,
And that makes their eventual, like, connection that much more satisfying.
for sure. Okay, and speaking of transformations, let's talk about Ty.
Oh, Ty.
Brittany Murphy was phenomenal in this role.
So good.
She goes from this, like, grunge-loving outsider to, well, popular, kind of superficial girl.
Uh,
It's kind of heartbreaking, but
Well,
so relatable.
Totally. And that makeover scene is, like, iconic.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also, like, a commentary on the pressure that girls face to, like, fit in.
Oh, for sure.
And those beauty standards, Like, Ty gains confidence, but she loses a bit of herself
A little bit.
along the way.
Yeah. It's like a cautionary tale, right?
Yeah.
About self-image in a world obsessed with appearances, which feels even more relevant now with social media and everything.
Oh, absolutely. Like, Ty's journey reminds us that validation comes from within,
Totally.
not from, like, trying to fit in, Just like Travis encourages her.
Embrace your individuality.
Exactly.
Okay, and we can't forget how Clueless uses humor to just poke fun at, like, the shallowness of Beverly Hills culture.
Yeah.
The conversations about fashion, the obsession with status symbols. It's all so funny, but it's also satire.
It's so smart. Like, it's social commentary, but masked as a teen comedy.
Totally.
It makes you laugh, but it also makes you question, like,
Those norms.
yeah, those norms, those values we put on material things and, like, where you fall in the social hierarchy.
So deeper than it looks.
Way deeper. Like, Clueless may seem light and fluffy, but underneath, it's tackling some pretty profound topics.
Yeah.
With a lot of wit, a lot of charm, and a whole lot of 90s flair.
For sure. It's definitely a film that, like, stays with you. So what do you think it is about Clueless that keeps people coming back to it, even after all these years? Like, what makes it so timeless?
It's like that combination, right? The wit, the characters, how it, like, captures that moment in time,
Yeah.
but also, like, those universal themes of, self-discovery, friendship,
Yeah.
finding your voice.
Totally. Those resonate with everyone.
Exactly, yeah.
And you can't deny the, massive impact Clueless has had on pop culture. It's practically a phenomenon.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, the fashion alone has inspired so many trends.
Oh, yeah.
Even, decades later,
But,
totally. Who can forget Cher's yellow plaid?
Oh, come on.
Or Dion's, hats and bold print.
And the knee-high socks.
Oh.
Everyone was wearing those.
Totally.
Channeling their inner Cher.
Totally, yeah. It goes beyond the clothes, though, right? Like, the dialogue.
So quotable.
So quotable.
As if.
As if.
Whatever.
Ugh, my life is a total Monet.
Ugh. Like, it's part of our vocabulary now, whether you've seen the movie or not.
It's like the movie created its own language.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a shorthand for this kind of, teen experience.
Exactly. And I think that's part of why it's so timeless. It's not just a 90s thing,
Yeah. It transcends that.
It really does. And teenagers today can still relate to the core themes, even if, some of the tech and slang feels dated.
Oh, for sure. But it's still so relatable.
Yeah.
And the humor's so clever and witty.
Yeah.
And it never feels mean.
Never.
It's very, very sharp, though.
Yeah. That's Amy Heckerling.
Yeah.
She's brilliant.
Oh, Mike.
She created this world that's hilarious, but also heartwarming.
Yes.
And you're laughing with the characters,
Totally.
rooting for them.
And the cast, phenomenal cast.
So good.
Alicia Silverstone, perfect Cher.
Oh, yeah.
And the supporting cast, Stacey Dash is Dion, Paul Rudd is Josh.
Little power.
They brought so much depth to those roles.
They did. It felt like they weren't even acting.
No, they were living it.
They were living it. And even the teachers, Mr. Hall, Miss Geist.
Oh, so good.
They're memorable. They add to the comedy of the film.
Oh, totally.
And their storyline is actually a great parallel to Cher's own journey.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're both initially focused on these superficial aspects of their relationships, but they realize that true happiness comes from connecting with someone who appreciates them.
Exactly. And let's not forget Christian.
Oh, Christian.
Played by Justin Walker.
Yeah.
And, Cher misreads his signals, but the movie's handling of that character was actually pretty progressive for the time.
Yeah, it really was.
Normalizing different sexual orientations without making it this, huge central focus.
Right. It just felt like a natural part of the high school world.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it was very inclusive.
Yeah, for sure. And Cher decides to stay friends with him, even after realizing her mistake.
Yeah.
Shows her capacity for growth.
Totally. She's not just a spoiled rich girl.
No, she's not.
Okay, back to Cher and Josh for a minute. Their relationship is, for a lot of people, the heart of this movie. What are your thoughts on their dynamic?
Well, I mean, they start off as complete opposites, right?
Totally.
He's this socially conscious college guy.
Yeah.
She's in this bubble of privilege. But over time, they really learn to appreciate each other's perspectives.
Totally.
And challenge each other to grow.
Yes. And their banter is gold.
So good. So good.
There's clearly something there,
Oh, yeah.
but they take their time.
That slow burn.
Yeah,
Which makes it so great.
Makes it so satisfying.
Exactly. And I think their differences actually make it more interesting
Yeah, for sure.
because they push each other out of their comfort zones.
Totally.
And encourage each other to see the world in a new way.
Yeah, they make each other better.
Totally. Yeah.
And that scene where Josh defends Cher
Yeah.
after she gets yelled at by her dad's colleague.
Oh, yeah.
Such a turning point.
Oh,
You can just feel that shift.
Oh, yeah.
He goes from the critical stepbrother to I care about you.
Exactly. That's when their connection just deepens.
Deepens, yeah.
Differences melt away.
And then the kiss in the
Uh-huh.
hallway.
The iconic kiss.
So good. So good. And speaking of iconic, the ending with Cher catching the bouquet at Mr. Hall and Miss Geist's wedding.
Ah, so good.
It just encapsulates her whole journey.
It really does. It's a classic rom-com ending, but it feels earned.
Because we've seen her transformation.
Totally.
We know she's not that same naive girl from the beginning.
Exactly. Okay, here's the million-dollar question. Do you think their relationship would survive in the long run?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know, because they come from very different worlds.
They do. And those differences could create some tension as they go beyond high school.
Totally. He's off to college. He's focused on social issues, activism.
Yeah, totally.
and she's still figuring herself out.
Right. Outside of that Beverly Hills bubble.
Yeah.
But I think the film does suggest they have potential.
Yeah.
You know, she's shown a willingness to learn and grow, and he sees beyond her, like, superficiality.
Totally. To that kind heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really a testament to communication.
It is.
Understanding.
Yeah, and seeing past the surface, you know?
Totally. Recognizing value in someone different from you.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Now, this is just scratching the surface of what makes Clueless so special. Like, we could talk about this movie for hours. Oh, yeah. Dissecting every scene.
Every outfit.
Every outfit.
Every line.
Every line.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie that rewards repeat viewings.
Oh, for sure. Like, you always catch something new.
Oh, yeah.
Some little detail.
Totally.
Some joke you missed the first time.
And that's part of why it's endured.
Yeah.
It's both entertaining and, like, it makes you think.
It's so smart. Like, it's funny, it's stylish, it's heartwarming.
Yes.
But it also tackles those important issues.
It does.
And gives you a glimpse into, like, teenage life in a really, really, like, smart way.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Clueless, I highly recommend checking it out.
Oh, yeah.
You will not be disappointed.
And if you have, rewatch it.
Yes.
You'll be surprised at what you pick up on.
Yeah, for sure. Like those little nuances you didn't notice the first time.
Totally, yeah.
It's a film that keeps on giving.
It does, it does.
You know, it's wild to think that Clueless almost didn't happen. Yeah, like the studio, they weren't sure a teen movie about a rich Beverly Hills girl would connect with people.
It's crazy how, things work out. Like, thank goodness Amy Heckerling fought for her vision, right? I mean, the rest is history. She took what could have been like a predictable, shallow teen movie and turned it into something special.
Totally. A visionary.
Yeah.
Her ability to, like, blend the humor, the satire, the heart.
Yeah, it's so unique.
It's what makes Clueless so unique. You're laughing,
Yeah.
but you're also thinking.
Totally. And her casting, like, spot on.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Alicia Silverstone as Cher. I mean, she embodies her perfectly.
Right.
That mix of naivete and genuine warmth.
Yeah.
And the supporting cast, I mean, Stacey Dash as Diane, Paul Rudd as Josh.
Iconic.
They brought so much depth
So much
to those
dramatic.
roles. It's like they weren't even acting.
No, they were living it. And Heckerling's direction, too. She gave each character space to, like, breathe, to evolve.
Yeah, totally. Like, even the smaller roles.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Hall, Miss Geist.
So good.
They're memorable. They add to the comedy, the richness of the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And she wasn't afraid to tackle those complex issues.
No.
Like social class,
Yeah.
peer pressure, the search for identity, all within, like, a teen comedy.
I know, it's so smart.
It's incredible, like, balancing those elements so well.
Yeah, she's good. It's a really entertaining film, but it also makes you think.
Yes, it does. And the soundtrack, oh my gosh.
It's a soundtrack.
Like peak 90s.
Peak 90s.
A mix of those pop hits, the alternative rock.
Yeah. So good. And it's so carefully chosen.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it really elevates the emotion in those key scenes.
It does. I still, like, catch myself singing along to those songs.
Me too.
It's such a time machine.
It is. It's a total time machine. And I think that speaks to the lasting impact, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the music, the fashion, the dialogue, it all still resonates.
Totally. Decades later, it's become part of our culture. It has. So if you haven't seen Clueless, seriously, do yourself a favor, check it out.
Watch it. You won't regret it.
You won't regret it.
Yeah.
And if you have seen it, rewatch it.
Yes.
You might be surprised at, like, what you notice.
Oh, totally. The layers,
Yeah.
the jokes you missed the first time.
Yeah, all those nuances. It's a film that, like, just keeps giving.
It does. A reminder that even in a world that's obsessed with looks and appearances, true connection, kindness, it wins.
So well said. Clueless, a true classic. We loved diving deep into it with you today.
Yeah, it was fun.
And as Cher would say, stay classy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite movies. We'll see you next time.